Niwaya. The grasshoppers journeyed with man to reach the surface and spread in all directions. But in the travel to the surface, the mother of the grasshoppers was stepped on by the men, which stopped the rest of her children from reaching the surface. Those already above ground spread in all directions, just as the first tribes of man had done. From then on the Choctaw called the creatures Eskaile, mother dead. As the men emerged from the hill and spread throughout the lands, they would trample on many other grasshoppers, killing and harming the orphan children, fearing that they would all be killed as the men multiplied while continuing to emerge from Nani. Waya. The grasshoppers pleaded to Abba, the Great Spirit, for aid. Soon after, Abba closed the passageway, trapping many men within the cavern who had yet to reach the surface. In an act of mercy, Abba transformed these men into ants, allowing them to rule the caverns in the ground for the rest
of history. This is written to be a riddle, right? Because as you notice, certain times they point out that the grasshoppers were in fact men and children. Which stopped the rest of the children from reaching the surface. There's one of them. There was another one. Where was it? As the men emerged from the hills and spread throughout the lands, they were trampled on. They would trample on many other grasshoppers, killing and harming the orphan children. Fearing that they would all be killed as the men multiplied while continuing to emerge from the mound there. There's Abba, which you already know, the audience, that Abba is Hebrew for father. Here we are, Jewish language, Jewish encyclopedia. ABA, father, daddy. So there it is in a Choctaw story. They're using a Hebrew language, but you point that out and you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. But no. People that just do that are just covering up. Because like I said, Christopher Columbus knew who he was talking to. We all know that now. He knew why he called you Indian. You got a problem with that? Translate the word Indian into Spanish. Tell me what the multiple meanings are that you'll get. And we'll debate from there. And there we saw certain monsters of the sons of Anak, of the giant kind, in comparison of whom we seem like locusts. And look at that word, Anak. They spell this one with the E-K-E. But look at the other way they spell it, A-N-A-K. Now, they said that they turned the rest of those, grasshoppers. Was it the grasshoppers or the men? Whoever it was that was stepping on the grasshoppers, they turned them into ants, right? And left them in the caves. Now, look at that word. If you take out the A-K at the end, right? Don't you have the word ant? I told you, it's a riddle what they're doing. They have your stories and they're messing them up. Wow. And who are these? And this, I believe, this is another reason why I believe that we're looking at the right story here, with that Choctaw story, because when you start looking up here, we'll see if we can get some other verses on this. Hold on.
And when they were gone up, they viewed the land from the desert of Sin unto Rohab as you enter into Amath. 23 And they went up the south side, and came to Hebron, where were Achiman and Sisai and Tholmai the sons of Anak. For Hebron was built 7 years before Tanis the city of Egypt. 24 And going forward.
Oh, let's see. So,
28. And they related and said, We came into the land to which thou sentest us, which in very deed floweth with milk and honey, as may be known by these fruits. 29. But it hath very strong inhabitants, and the cities are great and walled. We saw there the race of Anak. 30. Amalek.
yo, weird. I'm telling you. I gotta go back and just start taking these names apart. Amalek? Who's that? We know Anak is the son of a Nephilim race, right? The race of Anak. There was the inhabitants of the land. Ooh, let's see.